worldwide sound. TalkTainmentRadio.com. We give you a reason to come. The world's greatest radio. We give you a reason to stay. Radio, the way it should be heard. You got the power.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
This is the Wellness Spot, and I'm TONYA KERRIN. Wellness is a choice, is a choice, is a choice, is a choice. Wellness is a choice. TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. The world's greatest radio. Radio the way it should be heard. You're in touch with the Wellness Spot, and I'm TONYA KERRIN. Thank you for tuning in. Killing the myth we can't afford good nutrition. You know, all around the world, especially in the United States, people have the thought process that to eat well, to eat organic, to have good nutrition, it's not affordable. That we can afford Little Debbie, we can afford the chips, we can afford the fast food, the dollar menu, the value meal, but we can't afford good nutrition. I have with me today Danielle Miranda, health fitness professional. I like to say health fitness guru, but I must say she is a guru and a professional in the health fitness world. She is a vegan, plant-based athlete. She's going to tell us this throughout the show, but I just want to start with, you can find her on Instagram at DaniHealth12. So that's DANI Health and 12. Or find her on Facebook as Danielle Miranda. Awesome young lady doing great things, and she's going to help us today understand nutrition and fitness. I was going to make that all one word, new fitness or something like that. But Danielle, thank you for being here.
Good evening, TONYA. Thank you so much for having me.
Please tell us a little bit about you. You know, I must say, Danielle, ever since I met you, I have been trying to give you a nickname, and I'm getting close to it. Everyone knows me as Tank the Nurse, and those that will go and find her on Instagram and on Facebook, you will know what I'm talking about when you say, I have got to come up with a nickname, and I challenge Danielle to take me out there and work me out. I think I can still do it. You know, I'm up there, you know, but as a tank, I still think 100% as a tank sergeant, and I still think of accomplish the mission. So I was trying to think of, you know, I feel like I have those Wonder Woman powers and things like that, but what's a young person that Danielle would represent? And I almost think like Isis. You know, Isis was jumping around, and she was a whole lot different than Wonder Woman. So for right now, today's show, I'm going to call you the Health Fitness Isis.
I love it. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes, yes. So tell me a little bit about you. Tell our viewers a little bit about you.
Well, I am a former Division I athlete. I played volleyball and ran track and field in college, and I majored in nutrition. Got my Bachelor of Science from The Ohio State University, and I minored in Human Development and Family Studies. I also continued school by getting my detoxification certification, and I'm currently working on my iridology certification, and I'm also looking to just enhance the community more and people around me more with knowing what health really means.
You know, that is needed. Now, you said a mouthful, because first of all, she said the Ohio State University. You know, I like those graduates from Ohio State. They always say the Ohio State University, and that's important. But you said Human Development of Family Studies?
Yes.
But you said something that that really stuck out. You said detoxification specialist. Now, Tell me just a little bit about that, because I'm all about detox, and I'm actually in the process of doing a detox and an intermittent fast. So just explain a little bit about what that is.
Well, you see a lot of misinformation out here on the internet and on TV about cleanses and detoxes, but true detoxing is healing thyself from within.
Woo! Wait a minute. Healing thyself from within. That's powerful, and I hope everyone heard that entire sentence. Mm-hmm. Healing thyself from within, because one of the things I say about wellness, you cannot have wellness if you do not start wellness from within. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. So, okay.
Yes, so, it's important that if you're trying to heal yourself from a standard American diet, which is called the SAD diet, then you want to transition properly into a plant-based or vegan lifestyle. That is the most ideal lifestyle to live in terms of nutrition.
And that goes from the standpoint, I always say, eat as close to nature. And people say to me, Tonya, what is eat as close to nature? I say, when you eat as close to nature, you eat the things the way they are found in nature. Not in a package, not in a can, right, not processed, but you eat them like like you can find them in nature. Is that correct?
That is very correct. You want to make sure that the foods that you're eating are in the most natural state as possible, and that they're not overcooked. Steamed is okay, baked is okay with certain foods, but you want to make sure that you have as minimally processed foods entering your body as possible.
Yes. Last week we were talking, and I mentioned the film Food Matters. And I suggest that a lot of people, there's a lot of documentaries out there, but this is one that's easy to understand. It's actually on YouTube. You can watch the entire documentary on YouTube, Food Matters. And they talk a lot about cooked food versus steamed, and eating at least 50% of your diet raw. So making sure that you have some raw food in your diet. But it seems that people have trouble understanding that. Now, Arnold Ehretz, he has a book out called Rational Fasting, a scientific method of fasting your way to health. And he says something that I think is very powerful that I'd like to get your opinion on. Mm-hmm. On page 77, he says, man is the sickest animal on earth in that no other animal has violated the laws of eating as much as man, and no other animal eats as wrongly as man. Mm-hmm. What do you say about that?
That is very true. You look at an animal, and when an animal is sick, they don't go to their food, they don't hunt, they rest and relax and heal themselves. Humans, on the other hand, when we're sick, we drink Gatorade, ginger ale, Campbell's chicken noodle soup. We feel like we need to eat in order to get better, or take medication or antibiotics in order to get better, when actually it's best to just allow your body to rest.
Yes. And allow your digestive system to rest.
Exactly.
When you go to the hospital, I have had the opportunity to be in the hospital the last week and actually last month, and it always amazes me, the diet and the food that they serve you. I have one friend that right when she was able to eat, it was a grape soda, mm-hmm, or grape juice, not clear liquids, not broth, but a bread, yogurt, Jell-O, sugary foods. And people don't realize that less than 6% of the physicians even know anything about nutrition.
Mm-mm. They really don't. And most of them just take a general nutrition course that's part of their prerequisites for their degree.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about this detox and this cleansing. I believe that we need to do cleanses, I would say quarterly. I don't know if you say more than that. I'm not an expert in that area, but at a minimum, I think quarterly you need to cleanse your body And actually, I think even on a weekly, monthly basis, you need to do what's called either an intermittent fast. And what I do is from 8 p.m. until 12 noon the next day, nothing but liquids. And that's not just any liquids. That's clear liquids, lemon juice and water, vinegar water, herbal teas or green tea. But give your body a rest at least 2 days or more, whichever you can handle, a week.
I agree with that, Tonya. I actually do the same thing. I fast from 8 p.m. until noon. That is actually my first meal. You know, people talk about breakfast, but breakfast actually stands for breaking your fast. And really, you're supposed to have your break fast around that noon time is when you should be eating. You know, we, as, you know, humans, we tend to eat acidic, heavy, sugary, oily, greasy foods first thing in the morning. And I always tell my clients, your body is like a sauna. When you turn on a sauna, what happens? And they look at me and they say, well, it goes to the temperature. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It takes time to get to that temperature. Our bodies are the same way. When we're in a deep sleep, our bodies, you know, things aren't moving like they normally would if they were wide awake. So when you're first getting up first thing in the morning, you shouldn't be having dark coffee. You shouldn't be having waffles and eggs and bacon and omelets and all these. You shouldn't do that.
What about those sugar cereals?
Absolutely not. You should be staying away from that stuff too. And really, you should be taking that time to wake up, have your herbal tea or your lemon water, and allow your body to wake up, the organs to wake up, the digestive system to move, because ideally you should be having a bowel movement when you first wake up.
Hello.
If you're not doing these things, then you need to really go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on.
Now, I didn't bring that up, and I wasn't going to bring that up, but, you know, for me, colon health is key to health.
It's
you know, life and death is in the gut. And like you said, when you wake up, you're supposed to have a release. You're supposed to have a BM. You're supposed to be able to get rid of everything that the liver and the body went through and picked up all the toxins and the everything, and it dumps it into the colon. And when you wake up, it's supposed to come out.
Exactly.
You know, there are people walking around with at least, if not more, 8 meals in their gut.
Yep, it's very true.
And it's festering, and it's just becoming a toxic that is flowing through your body.
They say nowadays the average person has anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds of uneliminated waste in their digestive tract.
I believe that.
That's a lot of waste.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I don't want to, you know, but I have to talk about it. And again, you brought it up, I didn't. But people don't realize how toxic it is to have that in your system, and how it affects every cell, tissue, and organ in your body, because your blood flows to every cell, every tissue, every organ, every system. But when you eat, let's just say, for example, dead food. When you cook your food and cook all the nutrients out of it, and even if we don't, our food is depleted because the soil's depleted. So when the soil is depleted, the plants are somewhat depleted.
Exactly.
The animals eat the plants, so they're depleted. So we're already losing out on so many minerals and nutrients. You know, like I say a lot, you know, you don't see worms outside when it rains anymore, you know, so you know that there's no minerals really in our soil. And if we are not adding those to our diet, all of that dead food in a living body, and you expect it to do great things.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's impossible.
Yes. Yes. So so you're a detox specialist.
Yes.
So does that mean that you can help me with detoxing parasites?
Absolutely. I can do that. I can help people lose weight. You know, it's funny because I've been in the fitness industry for over 15 years, and people just think that to lose weight, you have to eat 5 or 6 meals a day. You have to make sure you're getting your animal protein, and you have to work out. And it's so much more deeper than that. It really is internally cleansing yourself. And I tell my clients when they're like, well, I'm working out 6 days a week, and, you know, I'm eating 5, 6 meals a day. I'm making sure to drink my gallon of water, and I'm not losing any weight. I tell them, listen, it's not about that. You have to now look at cleansing your body.
Yes.
Your body's in toxic overload.
Yes. And, Arnold, he talks about in his book that, we talked a little bit about the colon and colon cleanse. He said there has been people that have released medication and drugs that have been in their system for over 40 years. And people don't believe that. They don't see how, we just had the image up of a French fry. I put a French fry on a billboard in my office, and do you know, 3 years later, the French fry looked the same as the first day I brought it.
I believe it, and that's what's sitting in our digestive systems. As a matter of fact, going on what Arnold Ehret talks about, when you're taking medication, when you're taking antibiotics, alcohol, drugs, your kidneys and your liver are not filtering that. Right. The average person is not filtering at all when it comes to their kidneys. So that stuff is sitting in your bloodstream, in your organs, in your digestive system. And that's why it's very crucial that you go to somebody that knows how to detoxify you properly, because if you detoxify too rapidly, you could actually die from it. You want to make sure you detoxify at a very slow and steady pace.
That is true. And the people that die from the detox, it's not necessarily, because some people would think and turn it around and say they die from trying to get healthy, they die from the fast or anything like that. It's the poisons and the toxin within their body that kills them. That's
killing them, exactly.
Sorry, I got a little dry.
You okay over there?
But now, you said detox specialist, and you said mucusless diet.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So, I know a lot of people may not want to hear this, but
they got to hear it. It's okay. You're with Tank. I got you.
There's foods that we are currently eating that are mucus forming and pus forming. So, for instance, meats, your beef, your chicken, your turkey, your pork, those are all mucus forming foods. You have your fish, your seafoods, those are pus forming foods. Dairy foods like eggs and cheeses are also mucus forming. So the idea is to really start transitioning away from those foods and going into a more mucusless lifestyle, which consists of leafy greens, different varieties of vegetables. Your starch vegetables like your sweet potatoes and your yams and your squashes, and then fruits. So that's the idea, is really going towards that direction of eating that type of mucusless plant-based lifestyle.
Now, does that mean that I have to give up my chicken and my fish for good? Or can I come back and have it maybe once a month, maybe once a week? Can I enjoy, Arnold
Ehret talks about, if you go back to the very thing that is causing your ailments, then you're still not filtering, and you still haven't cleansed the mucus and the pus out of your body. Because once you start going in that direction, you won't crave the mucus foods. You won't crave the pus-driven foods. You'll want to have the mucusless foods. So if you're still going back, you need to cleanse a little further and deeper.
Wow. So, now we talk sometimes about this sugar and about parasites. And about, one of the things that I say is it's easier to get a person off of crack or cocaine than it is to get a person off of sugar.
That's true.
And, so from what I'm hearing, the same applies with the mucusless, is like with parasites. When we can cleanse and get rid of those parasites, you really don't crave the sugar thing. So once you get the lifestyle of eating a plant-based diet, you feel so good, you don't want to lose that energy and that vitality that you feel within your life. Is that right?
Exactly. That is exactly correct.
Now, how long on an average do you think it takes for someone, take myself, say I start and I say, okay, I'm going to eat a mucusless diet. If I do that for 30 days, 45 days, should I see an increase in my energy?
Well, yes, anytime you transition from an acidic standard American diet and over to a more alkaline, balanced, plant-based lifestyle, you will see some changes. But each and every individual is different. There is not one person that is the same. Our backgrounds are different. How you were raised and how you ate is different than how I was raised and how I ate. So you're not going to be completely mucus-free in a month. It's going to take some time, and it may take a couple of years.
Well, you just mentioned something, so I want to get some clarification because, you know, when we talk about alkaline and acidic, most of our organs are acidic. Our large intestine is alkaline. Our blood is alkaline. And the real test for a person, if they are alkaline or if they're acidic, is to basically look at the symptoms.
Right.
Look at the symptoms of someone that has acidosis versus someone that is hyperalkalinic. And if you fall within that category, then you know that your body is not where it needs to be. Is that correct?
That is correct. So,
you said something there that I wanted to talk about when we were talking about changing and detoxing. We talked about the parasite detox. What other detox is there another detox that is focused on something like parasites or?
Not really. I mean, you got to be really careful not to get caught up in the fads.
Yes.
You know, if you're doing the mucusless diet and you're transitioning properly and once you start to do that, then you can start to really maybe bring in some herbs as an added enhancement or essential oils, but you really shouldn't focus on that.
Okay. You know, I didn't bring it up, but I'm always going to talk about oils when somebody brings up oils. But one thing that I say, you cannot out-oil a bad diet or a bad lifestyle. You can apply oil, and it's funny because I taught a seminar, and one of the ladies, after the first day of chemistry, she looked at me and she said, "I'm wasting my money on oils, right?" And I said, "Yes, you are." And she said, "Why is that?" And I explained to her, well, she saw it for herself in that she's using oils, but she was still drinking soda, which has aspartame, a lot of poisons, a lot of toxins. She was eating a lot of processed food, eating a lot of fast food. And so just in listening to the chemistry course, she came to her own realization. Again, healing can come from within. So she saw for herself that unless she changed her diet, she was going to have to, 1, use more oils, increase her oil use. 2, she was wasting some of her oils because without a good gut, good water intake, good sleep, and a good diet, the oils can only do so much. You cannot out-oil a bad diet or a bad lifestyle. You have to make some changes. And I would say if you're using the right oils in the right amount, the change is easy. The change will come effortlessly because you will see the results. You will see the difference. You will feel different because food and oils really do put you in a good mood and really help to enhance your wellness. I mean, they're a wonderful tool. So I totally understand what you mean when you say that everyone is different. And that's the great thing. Some people still need to eat, so they may need to take capsules or liquids to detox. Some people can do a food detox. Mm-hmm. There's so many detox out there that can help.
Right. Just be careful not to get caught up in the fads. Yeah. Do your research, read, understand, what it means to start transitioning, or work with somebody that knows what they're doing so that they're detoxifying you properly and transitioning you properly.
And when it comes to herbs and supplements, is that the way to go, or is food a very big part of that?
Food should be always number one. Hands down, whole food should always be number one. And I think we have to be really careful. Like I said, we rely too much on, supplementation and protein powders and all these things to give us what we need, when the reality of it is you need to go back to the drawing board. You need to start taking these mucus and pus foods out of your diet and really start to eat right, eat smaller meals, chew your food slowly. Little stuff like that is going to jumpstart you to where you want to be.
You know, I have a son that tells me, Mom, sit down with knife and fork in hand. And sometimes I don't do that, but I was reading a book last week, and in the India population, they state that you know, you need to sit down, don't be in a rush, don't eat in your car, don't eat walking around, don't eat standing, don't eat at your desk, but go sit in a relaxed setting and eat your food slow. My grandfather used to say, chew your food 12 times.
Exactly.
I mean, he was the last one to get up at the table. So that does matter. And it's
really
those basic things.
I actually tell my clients that, you know, on average, you should be chewing your food 25 to 50, depending on what you're eating.
Well, you know, in the Army, we said stuff it in and then chew it later. So that didn't work, but that may be why I'm where I was. I'm not there now, but I got myself to a situation that I had to do things differently. But yes, we would just shove it in, and then we'd chew it, you know, when we were back out in the field.
Simple stuff like chewing your food properly and you know, making sure not to drink with your meal and all that good stuff would really rid a lot of digestive issues that are going on out here.
Yes. Now, there's this, and Arnold Ehret says too, that we can repair the body from chronic illness, from acute illness, with our food and our lifestyle changes.
That is correct. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So now, tell me a little bit about this food combining, because we hear that and we talk about, you said, or I don't know if you said it or if I read it in Arnold's book, that when we break that fast, we should have fruits first.
That is correct. When you are breaking a fast, you don't want to go into an acidic type of food lifestyle. You don't want to eat that type of food. But at the same time, you know, there's some clients that do better maybe breaking their fast with a green juice, because they may be what's called a uric acid type, meaning for most of their lives they've eaten animal protein and grains and starches and all of those kind of foods. So a lot of times it's better if their body can't handle the natural sugars in fruit, because fruit starts to pull mucus and pus fairly quickly, and they're powerful detoxifiers, fruits are. So if you can't handle that, it's best to transition into a green juice to break your fast.
So, okay, let's talk about that just for a second.
Okay.
When you're talking fruits, are you talking things like pineapple? Because I know pineapple is amazing for what it does for you. Mango.
Yes.
What?
I'm talking about all fruits, really, but
Okay.
most importantly, your pineapples, your peaches, your mangoes, your grapes, your watermelon, your berries. Those are the fruits that are powerful detoxifiers. So you want to be very careful. That I have clients that literally can't even have a handful of berries because they're so acidic. So I have to work with them with green juices and maybe adding an apple to the green juice, even though we shouldn't combine that, you know, kind of slowly introducing them to fruits.
You said not combine that. Now,
Right.
wait a minute. I'm always told,
Right.
and everyone get the green smoothie.
Right,
Put the green apple and the green spinach and the green kale and the celery and the green this and the green that.
That puts things into a real big loop, doesn't it? Because now you're saying, okay, well, what about all these juice spots that are out here and all these places that are doing smoothies? Well, I'm here to tell you they are not combining their juices and smoothies properly.
Well, now I say this. Now you can tell me, because I've been saying it, but I get a lot of flack. Sometimes we don't have enough enzymes in our gut to process all of that. And so, again, going back to the digestive issues, we're already mineral deficient, enzyme deficient. And if you got a bad gut and you mix all of that together, to me, that's why a lot of people don't see a lot of results. So when we come back, is it affordable? And I say it is, and I do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just do it and get it done. Next on Talktainment.
Watch them stop and stare. Soft, luxurious hair. Dynasty Goddess Virgin Hair. Stop paying for overpriced virgin hair. Introducing Dynasty Goddess Hair. Soft, luxurious, high-quality hair at affordable prices. Visit dynastygoddess.com or call 800-285-6210. Dynasty Goddess Hair.
Are you ready for a high school that allows you to work at a pace that is right for you? Are you ready to earn certification in healthcare, business, or manufacturing while achieving your high school diploma? Then you're ready for Life Skills High School, a free public option for Ohio students 16 to 21 years old. Learn more about your free high school educational options at lifeskillshs.org or call them at 1-800-888-7992. That's 1-800-888-7992. Life Skills High School, education that fits your life.
Stand by for an important announcement.
Mortgage interest rates are the lowest in history. Did you hear that? Mortgage interest rates are the lowest in history. You can buy a home from Lenco Realty for less than rent. For details, call 614-375-2BUY. That's 614-375-2289 or log on to repohomelist.com. That's repohomelist.com and claim your American dream.
Live call-in talk show. Dial 1-877-932-9766 and join the conversation here on TalkTimidRadio.com.
Queen's Legacy of Love 12 brand launch and grand opening. Currently looking for hosts, photographers, models, dancers, entertainers, ushers, comedians, production managers, model coordinators, stage crew, vendors, volunteers, sponsors, public relations and media personnel, and extras. Contact ggoldqqueen22@yahoo.com. Queens of Queens.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kickin online.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Made with 100% natural quality ingredients and handcrafted with your family in mind, Ash Kickin products are better than those other guys. Ash Kickin candles, incense, body butter, face moisturizer, and hair moisturizer are priced just right, and you can get yours at 10% off with coupon code TALK17. Support this 100% black-owned business and get your home and body smelling and feeling all right.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Shop Ash Kickin online at www.ashkickin.com.
This is Al Edmondson, owner of a Cutter Brother Rest Barbershop. I'm calling on all barbers and beauticians. It's time for us to unite as one. We can serve our communities better together. Join the Ohio Black Barber Beauty Network. For more information, visit www.obbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
TalkTimidRadio.com. We go where you go. Call us at 1-877-932-9766 or download the app so that you can listen anytime in your car while you're walking, on the couch, or go to YouTube, Talk Timid Radio, and find us, the wellness spot. We have Danielle Miranda here, ISIS, the health fitness professional. Trust me, when you go to her page and you see that workout where she's pulling up on the bars, Tank has to get it in order to get on that video and show you a workout, but I can do it. I can do it. Yes. You know, the Army say, Army strong, accomplish the mission. So we'll see what happens there. But Danielle, we were talking before the break. Is it affordable?
Yes, it is. It's very affordable. You don't have to make a lot of money in order to eat healthy. You can eat healthy on a budget.
Now, I saw you did a video on your page, and I like that because, number one, you had some eggplant in the basket. and you went to the store and I think if I'm not mistaken, you said $14. You spent less than $20 to feed a family of 6.
That is correct. It was actually a family of 4.
Okay,
so to feed a family of 4 for under $20. And it came to like $14.79.
Now, are you an Instapot user? You know, I'm an Instapot lady.
I am not an Instapot user.
Okay, so that's another video. So there's 2 videos that we got to do. We got to get Danielle in the Instapot kitchen, and we got to take all those good vegetables and put them in the Instapot and make something that I would say make you smack somebody. I never say smack your mama, but they'll make you smack somebody. You can eat healthy and it tastes good. Mm-hmm. Some people believe that, they can't afford it. And unfortunately, due to marketing, we have more medication and food commercials. And we're taught that, all the bad is on the inside of and by the register, definitely by the register. But, how can we break this myth that you can't afford to eat well? That all you can afford is some Little Debbie's, some processed meats. Mm-hmm. How can we help families out there?
I think it's important to educate, especially in the neighborhoods that have more of the drive-throughs and have more of the convenience stores. It's important that we get them more involved through classes or seminars or something. Because a lot of them, believe it or not, even up to this day, they don't know. They don't know that, greens and juices and smoothies and salad, they don't even know that stuff exists, believe it or not. I've had people ask me, I don't even know what a blender is. I don't even know what a Vitamix is, or I don't know what a food processor is, or, so I think it's really important that we educate our communities that don't have access to a Whole Foods or don't have access to farmers markets on how they can do this at Aldi's. Because, now you've got stores like Aldi's that are offering organic food, organic produce to be exact. So you can even go to Aldi's and Walmart and get organic produce.
That's true. And the price is very affordable at Walmart and at Aldi's. I actually went to Aldi's before I came here. They have a new one in Canal Winchester, and they just built one on 256 and Hill Road. And like you said, the vegetables are organic. They're fresh. And we got to get vegetables in our diet. And a lot of times our children don't eat because we don't cook it or we don't eat it, but we got to get out of our comfort zone and just try it.
Exactly.
Just try some hummus. Just try some avocados. It's good brain food. Try some lacinato kale and some Brussels sprouts and spaghetti squash and different things. But I think education is key. Seminars, showing people how easy it is. Some people, and that's why I like the Instapot, because some people think that it takes too long. It's easier for me to run to a drive-through and get a burger, a fry. But what are we doing to our bodies?
We live in a society where, you either have both parents working 1 or 2 jobs or, single parents doing it. And so there's just no time. So it's very convenient for them to go through the drive-through and spend $30 to feed their, 2 or 3 or 4 plus kids. And so, in my video on Facebook, I talk about, tips that you can do when grocery shopping. So for instance, write your meals down ahead of time. Know exactly what you're going to make and make some of those meals crock pot meals. Why? Because you can then utilize the leftovers for another day or another meal.
That's right.
So now you're stretching that food out to last longer. Always look for sales. Every time I go to the grocery store, the first thing I do is I look for sales. I scan the sales before I touch or buy anything. You'll be surprised. You'll see apples 2 for $2 or avocados, 4 for $4.50 or whatever. So you can easily, find sales.
And just to piggyback off of that, something that you said made me think of this motivational speaker that wanted to help people who were looking for how to save. She said a lot of times, And I know this to be true because I lived in Germany and for 8 years. But she said, we are so wasteful in America.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the grocery store and we buy so much bulk food,
Mm-hmm.
and that's dead food,
Mm-hmm.
you know, canned goods, boxed food, and we don't eat it. A lot of Americans can go to their cupboards, to their pantry, and they have thousands of dollars.
Food's still sitting there, yep.
And guess what? And now, you know, I've got a couple friends that are into reading expiration dates, and their children are reading the expiration dates. So one lady, her son, he took out he must have took out 2 months worth of food because it was expired.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the money you could have saved if you buy fresh, use coupons, like you said, look for those deals, plan. That takes a little bit, but you know, you can do it as a family, make it a family project, but plan, say for the week, this is what we're going to eat for the week, buy for the week. And she said, you know what? Don't go back to the store till all that food is gone.
Exactly.
Then go back and buy for the next week. Do you know the amount of money you will save? And I know I'm guilty of it because I sometimes will go to the store and buy a lot and then end up throwing things away because it went bad.
I used to do that, you know, back in college. I would buy so much food because I didn't know when I would have an opportunity to go to the store, and I was wasting it, and I couldn't stand throwing it away. I felt so bad doing that. So now I only buy food for a couple of days at a time. I make sure that that food is gone, and then I go back to the grocery store. But if that's not you, and you can't do that, and you don't have the accessibility of a vehicle or a bus to get to where you need to be a couple times a week, then I would recommend, you know, doing the crock pot meals.
Yes.
You know, or maybe, you know, doing things where you can bake or dehydrate or blend, you know, things that use minimal type of processes to make that you can stretch out over a certain span of time.
And you know, there's so many ideas. You know, this is something that we talk about on Wednesday Wellness, and I'll put that plug in now because you're going to be there this Wednesday, so people can come out and see you in person, talk, get some answers, because not only are you ISIS, but you present wellness, and it's nothing worse than talking to someone about wellness, but they're not doing wellness. But I can honestly say that you are doing the things that that you've learned at The Ohio State University. You're doing the things that you're recommending, and it's serving you well. And what people have to understand is the body is forgiving, and it starts from within. So if you just jump on the road to wellness, just get there. You don't have to do Danielle's plan. You don't have to do Tonya's plan. You find what works for you, because I think even earlier you said that we're all individuals. We come from different lifestyles, different backgrounds. We have different variables. But guess what? We can all get to wellness.
That's exactly right.
You know, now you talked about being a vegan, plant-based athlete. Some would say, is this only for athletes?
No, it's not. I actually call myself a hybrid. You know, you have people that will say, oh, I'm vegan or I'm plant-based. I find that I'm a little bit of both. The reason why I call myself a hybrid is because I don't eat the foods. Now, I'm human and I'm not perfect. And so when I was transitioning, I was still having my corn chips and my fries. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm perfect, because I'm not, and nobody is. But vegans tend to eat more of the processed foods. They eat more of your sweets, your fried foods. You know, they only basically, they justify, you know, the fact that they don't eat meat or dairy. But other than that, everything else is pretty much up for grabs.
Okay.
But they are more protective about animal rights. And so I'm very protective about animal rights, but at the same time, I do eat my leafy greens, my vegetables, my fruits, you know, seaweeds, nuts and seeds at a minimum. I don't eat those as much anymore because they don't digest properly.
Right.
So I keep those to a minimum. But I'm both. I'm a hybrid because I care about the animals, but at the same time, I'm a plant-based eater.
Okay. Now, you said, give me an average meal for you. Like what's on the menu for tomorrow?
So, you know, I'm at a whole nother level now. So I want to, you know, before I talk about that, I don't want people to freak out when they're like, oh my gosh, like I can't do that right now. Again, this took me time to get to this point. So when you're starting off, it may not be this clean, but for me, so I wake up and I fast until about noon. And then I usually break my fast with either a juice that I make myself or a bowl of fruit. And I do mono eating because I find that when you have digestive issues, it's best to minimalize the amount of ingredients that are in your dishes. So to heal your digestive system properly, you should mono eat, which means eating one type of a particular fruit or vegetable at a time. So I may have a bowl of bananas, or I may have a bowl of mangoes, or a bowl of grapes. And then in a couple of hours, I'll have another fruit meal.
Okay.
And then later on that day, I may have a green juice, or I may have a salad, or I may have some steamed veggies with a baked sweet potato, or I'll stir fry my vegetables in water because I do water stir frying. I don't do oil stir frying.
So wow, so you do water stir fry?
I do.
Okay, that's okay. That's taking it up a notch.
Yes. So that's where I'm at. But again, when you're transitioning, it's okay to say, okay, I may want to have some hummus with my vegetables.
But that's not enough food.
It is.
That's not enough protein. That's not enough to sustain me to work. I got to be able to stay awake and work. I got to have some energy. That's what people say.
Exactly. Well,
girl, Tonya, don't listen to her. She's going to kill you.
Well, I can tell you that's a myth. A lot of people don't understand proteins are actually amino acids. And, you look at your amino acid profile and there's amino acids in everything we eat. So we really need to steer our mindset away from the protein myth. It is such a played out old myth.
Now, you said steer our mindset. It starts with thoughts. Because if you take in those negative thoughts, you already derail yourself. And so that's why I wanted to say that, because a lot of people say you can't work out, you can't exercise, especially on what you just said. All those people that work out, they'll say, oh, there's no way I can go lift. There's no way I can go do any cardio. I'm not going to have energy. I'm not going to feel good. But, is that the case with you?
I can tell you that's furthest from the truth. I can, in a typical day, I will run, I'll golf, I'll lift weights, I'll lift heavy, I'll do all kinds of cardio moves, a jump rope circuit. I have energy for days.
Yeah.
And it's off of how I'm currently taking care of my body internally, not externally, because again, that's talking about vanity. I'm strictly talking about health. And my goal is not to have cut up legs and big biceps and abs. My goal is to take care of my body internally. And when you focus your mindset on that, your external comes out naturally without even trying.
That's true. The outside is the window for the inside.
Exactly.
And that's what I say. Last week I talked about beauty, and I said, we want to look at beauty, but beauty is an inside job.
Exactly.
That shows up on the outside. And so when we have those skin issues and we have things going on with our outside, it's a reflection of what's going on the inside. And the body tells the story. The body doesn't lie. That's one thing. Your body will never tell you a lie. So if you are having symptoms or you're having things, the body is trying to let you know where dis-ease or disharmony is happening, and it's up to us. And like you said in the beginning, with animals will go and rest. They will rest their digestive system. They will cease to eat and to allow their body the ability to repair. It's a cellular thing.
Exactly.
So I don't have to be athlete to do a plant-based vegan diet and feel good and have mad energy to accomplish what I need to accomplish in a day.
Absolutely not. Anybody can do it. And like I said, some people, they feel great after, a month, and some people don't. It takes time, 6 months to a year plus, to get to that optimal level of health because they are so acidic and toxic.
Well, and I can speak to that. When I was at my great size of 22, I was making fried chicken every Sunday, homemade pound cake, macaroni and cheese, yams, greens. I was living that wonderful military lifestyle where, like I said, I shove it in and chew it later. I mean, there was just so many things that I was doing that I had no clue was leading up to that 40-year mark when all those diagnoses hit me. And I went to the doctor and they said, you got this? They just started handing me ID cards. Here's your diabetes ID card. Here's your hypertension. Here's your high cholesterol. Here's your this, you know. And I took them all. I took all of them gladly, you know, had them pinned on my jersey, put my name tags on. I am hypertension. I am diabetes. I am stroke, you know. And we have to understand that we don't have to accept those labels. But something you said earlier, if we do the things that will lead us to those diagnoses, then how do you expect anything other than that?
Right. I really don't like to diagnose things because, you know, everything's really about, you know, being acidic or being toxic or, you know, pus or mucus ridden. But, you know, what a lot of people don't understand is disease really stands for dis-ease.
That's right.
Your body not being at ease. So, you know, try looking at it from that perspective instead of saying, I have cancer. Because if you say that, then you're walking in those thoughts.
That's
you
right.
know, but if you say, I am at my ideal health, I am cancer-free, or I do not have dis-ease anymore, then your body and your mind will walk in that path. And you'll start to eat healthier. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to move your body more.
Yes.
And so that's where we really want to help the community get to a place of.
I like that because, like you said, it's I don't know if you agree with this, but you said mucusless. We're over toxic. Inflammation is a result of toxins in our body. We have free radicals and oxidative stress, and so all of these are you know, like you said. I believe that you don't have to say anything, and I really don't even need this to know the dis-ease in your body or the label that you have. If you do what we're talking about today, if you detox, if you cleanse, if you sleep well, you exercise, you eat well, and definitely if you eat a plant-based diet and drink good water, use, of course, essential oils, your body will repair.
And continue to read books on the mind.
Yes.
Continue to focus on that mindset and wake up like you talk about, Tonya, and say, I am beautiful.
Yes.
You know, I am healthy. I'm going to change the world today or someone's mindset today. You know, I make sure that every time I wake up, you know, and I'm still working on my mindset. I really am. But my goal when I wake up is to be as positive as I can be and really believe it. Not just say it, but really believe it and walk in it. And I always make sure when I walk past people to smile at them and say hi to them, to make sure that I give people genuine compliments, because we live in a world, as we all know, that's a little chaotic right now. And so it's important to be a light in a world that's full of darkness.
That's right.
You know, and so that's what I really stand for and what I'm really trying to live by for myself.
You know, it's funny you say that because we did a show yesterday and someone texted that very statement. He said, we have to be a light in the midst of the darkness. There's so much darkness. And that darkness is you know, there's even inflammation of the brain, you know, and that causes depression and different things. So as we heal the body, you know, food has to be part of that. Cleansing has to be part of that. Detoxing has to play a major role. So if I was to say, Danielle, how do I get started? What would you say to me? What's step one?
Step one is changing your mindset.
All right.
If that's the case, if you're ready to get started, okay, change your mindset and start talking in present tense.
Woo!
That's the first step.
Present tense, not past.
Present.
All right.
Not the past.
That they said that at beauty school. Stop telling the past stories. Just stop. Stop telling them.
So that's step number one. Step number two is, you know, write out your goals and make them tangible. Make them small, tangible goals. Don't overwork yourself. Don't give yourself goals that you can't reach. Say, okay, you know, for instance, if you're talking about nutrition goals, then make it an effort. If you only have a bullet, a magic bullet, for example, make it an effort to have a smoothie, a fruit smoothie, you know, once a day or every other day. Or say, okay, I'm going to take beef out of my diet because beef takes days to digest. It's very heavy and toxic to the digestive system. So maybe take that meat out. If you're looking for fitness, no one says you need to be a bodybuilder or a pro athlete in order to move your body. But
right.
Say, okay, I'm going to make sure I take a walk around my neighborhood twice. You'd be surprised, those small, tangible goals, along with reading positive books that are going to make sure to give your mindset what it needs to carry on these goals, are going to lead you in the path that you want to go.
Okay, Danielle. Now, everybody's watching the show, and they can come out Wednesday and see you at our Wednesday Wellness, Hump Day Wednesday Wellness at 4550 Heaton Road. But if they want to contact you, they want to get a consultation, they want to get on this road to wellness, and they want to do it, how can they contact you? What's the best way?
They can email me at Danielle, DANIELLE, at Danielle Miranda, MIRANDA.com.
At DanielleMiranda.com.
That is correct.
Okay. And I want to thank you for coming on the show and for coming out on Wednesday, because people, you know, this myth has to be debunked. We have to get rid of this myth that it is not affordable to eat well. You know, I recently lost a loved one in August. And so for me, it wasn't affordable to have him put away. Mm-hmm. We had to pull a lot of resources together to take care of his services. That, to me, is not affordable. Mm-hmm. For me to change my lifestyle, to eat well, to be a better person, because, you know, one of the things that with everything that you said in those steps, guess what? Tonya's going to be a happier person. Mm-hmm. You know, and I always say laugh. You know, we need to laugh every day. We need to give hugs. 8 hugs, 10 ideal is to get 10 hugs. So sometimes I will count the number of hugs and make sure, mm-hmm. you know, that I get my hugs for the day. I give love. Like you said, smile, mm-hmm. be kind, be positive, speak to your body, speak to your cell. You know, those are things that we have to do if we want wellness, and we have to work on it within. You first got to know that you need wellness, and that starts within. And I just thought of something that I didn't get a chance to talk about. You know, I can help people with getting a blood analysis to see if they have heavy metals and where they're at with their blood work, you know, how well their blood cells are. I can also do hair analysis to help with heavy metals. You do a hair analysis, and tell me a little bit about that real quick.
I do. I don't do it as much now, but, you know, basically it's regarding intolerances. Now, okay. Intolerances are different than allergies. Allergies, you know, they say in the medical industry, you're more likely born with them. They're more life-threatening. Whereas intolerances could be caused by, like we've been talking about, digestive issues, eating an acidic diet, eating a mucus-ridden type of diet. So, you know, it's very important that, you know, you figure these intolerances out by doing the hair analysis so that you could live a healthier lifestyle.
Well, they're going to have to come out to Wednesday Hump Day Wellness at 4550 Heaton Road, 6 o'clock on Wednesday, so that you can talk with Danielle more and find out about food intolerance. Thank you, Danielle, for being here today. It has been a wonderful show.
Thank you, Tonya, so much for having me.
Choose wellness. Choose life.